It must have been the happiest moment of their lives, the bride and groom's first dance as husband and wife. But it was also their last. Minutes after this spectacular send-off, the bride was killed and her husband seriously injured by an alleged drunk driver.
The golf cart and the passengers in it were launched 100 yards, which is about the length of a football field. The woman who came out of her house first ran over to Eric, whose face was so badly injured, the woman couldn't even tell if he was alive. She then made her way over to Samantha. The woman wasn't able to find a pulse on Sam. One or more of the onlookers called 911 immediately. They took over, trying everything they could to save Sam's life, but it was clear that she was gone and had been killed on impact. They said that when Jamie saw the people on the ground, she began crying and screaming, "Who is that?" She was then taken to the county jail and was ultimately charged with 1 count of reckless homicide resulting in death and 3 counts of felony DUI resulting in great bodily injury or death.
On April 28, 2023, Eric Hutchinson and Samantha Miller were ready to begin a new chapter of their life together as newlyweds. But tragedy would alter their fairy tale wedding when a drunk driver crashed into them as the couple left their own reception, injuring Eric and killing Samantha.
And Mom looks at us and says, "Something happened to Sam." She knew it and she felt it in her gut.
While Eric and Sam were preparing for their wedding day, Jamie Komoroski set off on a day of bar hopping. She began here at El Gallo Bar and Grill, then made her way to Folly Beach, making stops at 3 other establishments, consuming beer, tequila shots, and other shots of liquor. By the end of the night, Jamie's blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal limit.
She made the conscious decision to get in her vehicle way over the legal limit, and she killed my sister.
As Sam and Eric left their wedding reception on a wedding-themed golf cart driven by his brother-in-law and his nephew, Komoroski was reaching speeds of 65 miles per hour, blowing past the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit postings, resulting in a catastrophic collision.
One of the victims in the case, Samantha Miller Hutchinson, was killed as a result of that collision. Her husband, Eric Hutchinson, he had injuries to his legs, 2 brain bleeds, 2 facial fractures, and he's had multiple surgeries to repair those injuries.
Komoroski's defense attempted to get the defendant out on bond and into a rehab facility, claiming that she struggled with alcohol dependence, depression, and anxiety.
I want to express my deepest sympathy and sorrow to the family of the Hutchinsons and the Millers. I know that she will not break any rule, and I just want you to know that I will be there and offering my dedication, commitment to help Jamie with her sobriety.
After considering all the facts and circumstances of this matter, I do indeed find that the defendant is a risk of flight and danger to the community, and I'm going to deny a bond.
Komoroski now sits in jail, where she faces charges of felony DUI resulting in death and great bodily harm and reckless homicide.
I still just don't know why this had to happen to me. I'm just scared, Dad. I don't want to go away for so long.
Well, listen, we're doing everything we can. Right?
Dad, what did you do?
You called your
I'm a bad person. I'm not a bad person. I'm saying I just want to hug you guys so bad.
So do I, Jamie. So does your mom.
The Komoroski family hopes to reunite with their daughter one day, as the Hutchinson and Miller families grieve the loss of Sam.
She was nothing but, oh, here I go, love and care. And she literally was like born an angel. She did nothing but want to make people feel good. She was a bride for 3 hours or 4 hours, however the amount was, but she has 34 years of who Sam was. And Sam was an awesome, free spirit.
Drunk driver Jamie Komoroski to be released from jail less than 1 year after crash, which killed bride on wedding day. Accused DUI killer Jamie has been granted bail and will be released from jail less than a year after she plowed her car into a golf cart, destroying a newlywed couple's lives. Komoroski, 26, posted $150,000 bond on Friday and is expected to be released today and placed under house arrest in Charleston County, South Carolina, with an ankle monitor. She has been awaiting trial at a Charleston County jail since April last year. A trial date has not yet been scheduled, but court officials could not explain why. Komoroski was 3 times over the legal blood alcohol limit and speeding, traveling 65 miles per hour in a 25 miles per hour zone when she slammed her vehicle into the wedding party as they left the reception. Miller died at the scene in her wedding dress. Her new husband sustained a brain injury and 2 other passengers were also hurt. In May, Komoroski expressed optimism she might be out of jail soon, telling her boyfriend in a recorded jailhouse call. The head person of Charleston County wanted her to be home with her family. "She's really nice, and I think she's gonna help me. Things are looking up," she said on the call.
It must have been the happiest moment of their lives, the bride and groom's first dance as husband and wife. But it was also their last. Minutes after this spectacular send-off, the bride was killed and her husband seriously injured by an alleged drunk driver.
The golf cart and the passengers in it were launched 100 yards, which is about the length of a football field. The woman who came out of her house first ran over to Eric, whose face was so badly injured, the woman couldn't even tell if he was alive. She then made her way over to Samantha. The woman wasn't able to find a pulse on Sam. One or more of the onlookers called 911 immediately. They took over, trying everything they could to save Sam's life, but it was clear that she was gone and had been killed on impact. They said that when Jamie saw the people on the ground, she began crying and screaming, "Who is that?" She was then taken to the county jail and was ultimately charged with 1 count of reckless homicide resulting in death and 3 counts of felony DUI resulting in great bodily injury or death.
Jamie Lee Komoroski was denied bond after appearing in court today on charges related to a DUI crash back in April. That crash killed newlywed Samantha Miller and left her husband, Eric Hutchinson, severely injured.
Now, the mother of the bride, Lisa Miller, spoke out along with other family members after the judge's ruling. So let's listen now to their emotional reaction.
If she's been incarcerated for 3 months, she's probably very clean now. And they do have addiction programs in the jails, so she can access that if that's really what she wants. And I don't think that 3 months spending time in jail, 3 months is nothing. I mean, it seems like yesterday for us. And like I was saying in there, we are tore up. I mean, our family is tore up. Eric's family's tore up. Our families are in disaccord. Is that the word? Yeah. Like we're not together on one page anymore. It's just created such havoc in everybody's life. And why should she get out and just go about her merry way? You know. And I definitely don't think she should go to Jersey or anywhere around here. I think she should stay in the community where it happened and feel it like I do every time I come down here. I was here last week. Every golf cart I see. I went over to the marina, and I turned around, and there was the
wedding venue.
The wedding venue. And on the way home in the car, I just all of a sudden broke down and had this major anxiety attack. I didn't know why, because I see those things and I don't say anything, and it's hurtful. And she should have to see them too. That girl rocked this world, okay? She was nothing but, oh, here I go. Love and care. And she literally was like born an angel. She did nothing but want to make people feel good. She couldn't stand when she thought anybody, even a stranger, felt bad, felt sad. It was her job to make them feel better. You know, she's at Bojangles giving the homeless guy biscuits when she's like 7 years old. You know, like that's just who she was. And I want people to know that she was a bride for 3 hours or 4 hours, however the amount was, but she has 34 years of who Sam was. And Sam was an awesome, free spirit, beautiful person inside, and that's what I want people to talk about.
This was a little more difficult with having people around me that I love, even though that sounds like it would be supportive. But knowing how much this has affected our entire family, standing up there and just talking about Sam and what this has done.
Were you pleased with the judge's decision of?
I am so happy I could run and scream, and I'm crying happy tears. I'm very happy. I'm happy because I feel like it's been 3 months and the time hasn't been served, and she is a risk of flight and she is a danger to society, and the judge felt that.
And we're also working on planning a service for her in the near future. We kind of wanted to get through, a celebration of her life. We're wanting to get through this step for sure, and then maybe have a little bit of time to breathe and be in the right frame of mind to plan that celebration for Sam.
My world will be ever changed what happened that night. I think about that night every single day. In the last moments I had with Sam on the golf cart. She told me she didn't want the night to end. And I kissed her on the forehead. And then the next thing I remember is waking up in the hospital.
This is the worst decision I have ever made in my life. And it has affected the lives of so many. First and foremost, I want to address all the victims of the accident I caused and say how truly and deeply sorry I am.
Yes, ma'am, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
My name is Jamie Komoroski, and on the night of April 28, 2023, I chose to drink and drive, which resulted in the death of Samantha Miller and the serious injuries of Eric Hutchinson and injuries to family members Benjamin and Brogan. This is the worst decision I have ever made in my life, and it has affected the lives of so many. First and foremost, I want to address all the victims of the accident I caused and say how truly and deeply sorry I am. Due to my poor decisions, a beautiful life was taken. A wife, sister, daughter, and friend of many is no longer with us. And for that, while I know an apology will fix nothing, all I can say is how incredibly remorseful I am. I also am truly sorry and remorseful for the physical and emotional pain I caused to the other family members. I wish I could go back and undo this terrible tragedy, but I cannot. I will live the rest of my life with immense regret for what happened that night. I also want to express my deep remorse and sincere apologies to all who were involved in this tragedy, including the first responders, police, friends, and families of the victims, and anyone who was hurt in any way due to my poor decisions that night. This will be something that impacts all of you for the rest of your lives. I take full responsibility for the tragic outcome that my decisions have made. I will carry this guilt with me for the rest of my life. And as much as I wish I could go back in time and have none of this happen, I know that cannot be done. A lesson I have learned is that just because you have good intentions or would never want to hurt anyone, if you aren't being responsible for your actions, you can and you will hurt people. I know I am going to be punished for these actions, and I agree that it is something that must be done. I would like to make it clear that whatever my punishment is, I will use the time to better myself, spread awareness about the dangers of drinking and driving, continue to help others with addictions through AA, and work every day to improve myself to give maximum service to the community and my fellows. Some ways I plan on doing this include staying extremely involved in AA and the fellowship of helping people recover from their addictions. I am able to do this because I know what it is like to be an addict. I did not want to believe that I had an addiction to alcohol before this tragedy, and so I told myself every day I was normal. The fact was, though, that I was helplessly addicted to alcohol, and that I was living every day with no meaning. This led to me not caring about how my actions would affect others. I never want to live my life that way again. And I hope to help people to never have to feel that way as well. After completing my sentence, however long Your Honor decides, I plan on going back to school to get a master's degree in animal-assisted therapy. This degree will allow me to follow out my dreams of being able to help people recover from PTSD, anxiety, depression, addiction, and more through the use of rescue animals. Lastly, I want to share my story with as many people possible in order to try and prevent tragedies like this from happening to other families. I want to emphasize the importance of warnings of drinking and driving to college students as well as young adults who haven't heard the message since high school. It is vital that the warnings of drinking and driving don't stop after the age of 18. I feel we all need to be reminded, no matter what our age is, so that the reality that this can happen, if not careful, stays fresh in people's minds. I have never been in trouble before, but one isolated decision of mine devastated so many lives. All of this work I plan on doing will be dedicated to Samantha and her family. Unfortunately, it took this incredible tragedy and terrible incident to wake me up to the extent of my addiction. I hope to help people wake up and rehabilitate before it's too late. Because every single decision we make has consequences. And knowing you have taken a beautiful life from this world is something I will live with every moment of every day going forward. A life that should have lived on to fulfill all of her dreams and ambitions, who would have helped so many people in her life, all because of my own inconsiderate and thoughtless actions. I want the last thing that I say to be that from the very bottom of my heart, with every fiber in my being, how sorry I am, and that I take full responsibility for my actions. Hopefully one day you will be able to forgive me, but I know forgiveness must be earned. Regardless of whether that day ever comes, please know that I will always be devastated, deeply ashamed, and terribly sorry for what I have done. I pray God stands by the side of my victims and their family and loved ones for the rest of their lives. Thank you.